Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Game Week 35 live stream, here we are. Only a few people in today, not as many as I normally have this early on, but hello to RJ, hello to Seb, Arman, Abdullah, all the regulars in the chat. Welcome to the stream, boys. So, quick summary, really. If Grealish is benched, I'm more than likely going to do Jota to Wilson or Isak. Now, my original plan was to do this in game week 36, and I was going to remove Watkins and keep Jota to the end of the season. But I feel like the minutes risk with him, it was a punt that never worked out, right? So I'm thinking that I might remove him and then just bench Grealish if he does get benched. So this is the situation. If I don't do that, then I'll roll, and armband's probably going to be on Haaland. But we'll be looking to see if we can get some early City news to help everybody out on the stream. I think it's going to be pivotal on what moves we make, right? If you're already on triple City, then maybe it's a little bit less. But if you're on double City, then maybe Alvarez could be one to watch. So a few things we need to go through. Abdullah, last week you captained Salah and you finally got lucky just by 2 points. Indeed, sir, but listen, that's where the small risks like that sometimes do pay in your favour, so well done to you, mate. You're going to go captain Salah again. Good luck, my friend. I do think it's a very good fixture for him. So Dan, can you have a look at the last week's squad? Say what I think about your score and potential moves other than Kepa to De Gea. We will look at that in a moment for you, Seb. Finally, I'm starting to see some green arrows. Indeed, Abdullah, I mean, like I said, the risk kind of paid off, right? The risk reward is there. So, yeah, my rank is getting destroyed every week, unfortunately. I think the best I was at some point, I think mid one of the game weeks, was about 52k. I think I was about 60-something K, right, about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and it's just gone downhill from then. I still think I'm confident we'll finish in the top 100k still. It's a very condensed pool of points. There's about 30 points between 50k and my rank now, so it is what it is. We just carry on. There's 4 weeks left. Anything can happen, Abdullah. An early kickoff, Pep Roulette being leaked. I'm 100% all for it. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I do think Grealish gets benched today. I'm going to be honest. I had a feeling anyway. I spoke about it in my team selection. I was going to play Jota ahead of him, but now he's only 75% flagged. I don't think I can just ignore what's going on, right? I can't just leave Jota as a potential only 20, 30-minute player. I need to get somebody in, and I think Wilson might be the play. So you've had 4 small red arrows in a row. You've dropped from 80k to 200k. Yeah, I mean, it happens, Armin, right? I was just saying my rank's been slashed in half pretty much, right? I was 60k about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. Just picks haven't worked out in my favour. If we go back to the Kepa versus Raya situation when Brentford were playing Chelsea, that was a prime example of a bit of a flop there. Obviously, Ederson in last week for a -4, only playing one of the double game weeks as well. Just, yeah, lots of things that went wrong. But that's what FPL is about. You take the learning, you understand what you've got to do better next season, and you just move on from it. So, how we doing, George? Welcome to the stream, mate. Seb, can you do me a favour and put your... In fact, I might be able to find you on the mini league anyway. If I do Sebastian, no. Because I know you're quite far down, but I just don't know where you are in the mini league, to be honest. Let's have a look. Okay, Team Nami, that's the one. Well, 110 points for you, sir, I think is a very, very respectable score. I think you've done well there. Of course, you did have a -4 there. I mean, if you would have gone De Gea, we were talking about it on the comment section, right, just before Brighton scored, then you would have had maybe a few more points there. But I think playing Raya was absolutely fine. Squad's looking very, very strong, mate. I would probably play... If Grealish gets benched for you, if Grealish does get benched, you've got Watkins there as a 4-4-2 potentially. If you get news on Stones, you could always put Solanke in against Chelsea. I really don't think that this is a grey fixture at all. I think Chelsea are falling over. So maybe you're in a position to roll, to be honest with you, Seb. But if you want to attack the game week, how much money have you got? 0.9. Yeah, maybe there's some potential to fiddle around, but I think really De Gea does make sense if you want to get rid of Kepa. That game week, double game week 37 doesn't make sense to keep hold of the Chelsea goalkeeper, in my opinion. 2 away fixtures against City and United. I just can't see anything there other than a few save points, right? So I think De Gea might make sense for you. I'm just not necessarily sure it's worth it this week. I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, very strong week for you, mate. Very strong week. But yeah, as I say, we'll keep an eye out on City news. I'm hoping that we do get leaked information. Of course, someone's already mentioned in the chat, RJ, that Raptor has tweeted that Haaland is likely to start, but he's not sure on how legitimate the source is. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think the armband needs to be on him, to be honest. I know, Abdullah, you're taking a gamble on Salah again. I do think he's a fine pick, but I can't look past Leeds. They've conceded so many goals in the last, 5 or 6 matches. It's absolutely incredible. And I just think that even if you get 45 minutes out of that, this man, it's hat-trick territory for him again. But what's the dilemmas that people have got anyway? Are we all pretty much banking on early team news to make our moves, or is anybody thinking of something different? How you doing, Harry? Welcome to the stream, mate. 10th green arrow in a row for you, Seb. Very good. Seb, hi, mate. You got Stones, Grealish, Haaland, and Jota. All 4 could be benched this week. Possibly. I mean, Stones is obviously a question mark. Grealish is a question mark. Jota, I think, is probably going to be benched now. He's flagged. So very tricky, mate. Very tricky. But who have you got on the bench to cover for you? You was 4.7 million in game week 18, Abdullah. Now you're 648k. Still some work to do to finish in the top 500k. Absolutely. But you're doing well, mate. You're getting there. Gakpo, Watkins to Salah and Ciso this week. Saved just enough to get Ederson in next week. Lovely stuff, George. I like the Enciso pick. Very good. Very nice differential. RJ, any advice on the team? Thinking of who to bench? Need to bench 2 out of Shaw, Trippier, Dunk, Saka, Mitoma. I don't think you can bench Dunk. You could potentially bench Trippier. I don't hate that. I just haven't got backup, so that's why I'm playing him. He hasn't had attacking returns in weeks, to be honest, and Newcastle don't look like they're keeping a clean sheet, especially if you're going to play Saka as well. That sort of doubles in your favour. Then you'd hope that Saka wipes out the Newcastle clean sheet and gets an attacking return for you. So I think Trippier is one to bench then. And then I think it's between Saka and Shaw. Like West Ham have been a bit of a bogey team for United for a long time. Like they do sometimes manage to find a way to score goals beyond us. So maybe Shaw and Trippier get benched. The other options are maybe Saka and Trippier, but I think Trippier is one of them. You're planning to go from Jota to Alvarez. Why not take some risks for the final weeks of the season? Well, this is the time to do it. And if I didn't go for Ederson last week, to be honest with you, Armin, I'd probably be looking at the same type of thing. You're 23rd now. I'll have a look at that shortly, Armin. You have 1 free transfer. Patrick, you're going to go to Salah too. You need more points. Yeah, I mean, look, this is the time that you're going to take gambles, right? I mean, the thing is that I've got a couple of cash mini leagues that I'm in, so it's one of those things where I'm hesitant to go essentially against the grain that I know a lot of people will be captaining, and that is Haaland more than likely. You think it was a good week, Seb, and you think the squad for this week is also looking good, but you just think the Reds will destroy Chelsea like 2-0, and you think Solanke could get something. Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely playable this week. And you think De Gea is a safe pick between now and 38, which I agree with as well. I do like him as a pick. I'm just not sure you have to do it this week. Like you get, in my opinion, there's many more advantages to just rolling this week if possible, so that in game week 36 you get an extra week's worth of Newcastle information on potentially that third asset if you've got already 2 for their double game week, and essentially then you can make that decision ahead of double game week 37 on who you want to bring in. So I'm not sure it matters now, basically, because you've got two reasonable keepers to play. 3 defenders to start: Trippier, Guehi, Moreno, Castagna, Trent. 3 defenders to start. I think I would go Moreno. I still think Wolves, look, okay, they have scored a few more goals recently, but I don't know. I think I like him. Trent, 100%, you're going to start him based on his attacking returns. Trippier's a difficult one because of ownership, right? But I've already mentioned, I think I would bench him if I was in your position and had a playing player. Palace or Leicester? Who do I trust more? I think I just about trust Leicester. I think I just about trust Castagna there. I don't think Spurs are going to be kept out, to be honest. I think Palace is a fixture that they might score on. Hi, Jedi Stew. Welcome to the stream, my friend. You're still in the cup. You played a bench boost and your triple captain just outdid him. Very nice. Very nice. Did you triple captain Haaland or Salah, Stu? I can't remember who you went for. Said, well, your bench isn't great. You've got Raya, Zinchenko, Henry, Iheanacho. Could potentially do Zinni to Share or Shaw if Stones or Grealish benched. Don't hate that. You get double game weeks, right? On Share or Shaw. So that makes sense. You're still going to... Yeah. You still might have to be looking at a potential -4, though, Sebwa, right? If I've kind of visualised your team right. If you win cups, do you win prizes just like the mini league? No, Abdullah, I've not. I never mentioned that. To be honest, I didn't even know it was a thing until you highlighted it. To be honest, so I haven't prepared for that. And again, look, I've earned absolutely 0 pennies from this channel in the past year, so I can afford one prize for sure. You know, it might be worth 50, 60 quid to somebody, but doing 2 is just, I can't do that. No worries, George. Like I say, hopefully that helps, but Castagna and Gahey, I think, is maybe a little bit closer than it looks on paper, because Fulham at home are definitely no mugs. You think rolling is good? I think you trust more Raya than Kepa, and you think you're willing to bet on Raya. I think the save points for Raya as well, right? It's such a strange situation. Like, who would have thought we'd be sitting here saying that you're not going to play a Chelsea goalkeeper against Bournemouth? Like, it's absolutely madness, isn't it, really? And you're preferring to play a Brentford goalkeeper against Liverpool at Anfield. But I do think the save points are there for Raya. I think he's absolutely fine this week to play. And if we get news on Ederson being benched again or something happens, whatever, I'm just going to just have Raya in. I'm not actually that worried about having him. Right, let's have a look. Armin, you're 23rd. See if I can... Shark team, of course. See, you'd made the same schoolboy as me, didn't you? Removing Kane to get Jota in. Although, did you have Salah when you did it? No, you didn't have Salah, did you? Because you did Maddison to Salah. Okay. Not too much of a painful one. If it was just literally Kane to Jota with no Salah in, then it would have been even more painful, right? But I think, look, 96 is a respectable point. Of course, you got a -4 there as well, but I think it has meant a red arrow. Our teams are very, very similar. Benching Eze, that's really unfortunate. But then who would you have played him ahead of, really? You could have played him ahead of Watkins. I felt like the United fixture was always going to be a bit tricky for him, which is why he was on my bench. Palace against West Ham. Maybe you could have improved there, but even then, it's only 7 more points. As for your team for this week, I guess we'll have to look at your ID. So I think I would keep Raya in, actually. I was just looking at maybe removing him, but I think we're okay there. I think your lineup probably looks something like this. And then for you... See, if Grealish gets benched, I still feel like this would be the play. You go to Wilson or Isak. Even though it's 1 week earlier and maybe Watkins was the placeholder for that, I still feel like that's the move. I think going for a Newcastle attacker this week, if Grealish gets benched, makes sense. Especially if Jota's out as well. If he's not, then it doesn't matter, right? I think you can get away with just literally going back to this and just rolling and just have Grealish play. If he's not benched, then you just play Eze. I don't think he's a bad shout against Spurs at all. So I don't think you're in a bad position at all, to be honest with you, Armin. Not bad. Right, catch up on the chat now. Sorry, guys. Okay, so where are we at? Raya is an absolute bonus point magnet. He certainly is, mate. Those save points just... They're worth so much for goalkeepers, a lot more than maybe I've given respect to in the past. So, Seb, while you're looking at a likely -4, considering Jota to a Newcastle forward, exactly what I've just mentioned, Wilson or Isak probably, right? You like Wilson, but he could be benched. So Isak for X mins, but uncertainty on Toon fans. Mins doesn't help. I think, to be honest, I would probably go Wilson anyway. After he come on for that 45 minutes against Southampton and still got 2 goals, and his XG is through the roof at the moment over the last 4 weeks. So I think even if he gets benched, which I'm not sure he will do against Arsenal, this is a big fixture for them for the top 4 race, right? And it's a big fixture for Arsenal for the title race. So I think there's going to be goals in the game. And I feel like Wilson gets more, if I'm honest. Over those last few weeks, I think more people have got Isak than Wilson at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. I can check ownership, but I'm pretty certain. So Isak is currently on 10.8 and Wilson's currently on 6.8. So it's a 4% difference. It's not massive, but it's enough of a differential, I think, to be happy with that move. But we'll see. I might change my mind. It all depends on this City news, right? You feel like Watkins' away form was so good you had to start him, which, look, that stung before, didn't it? I think, was it you on stream that said, oh, I'm not sure about Watkins, and then I showed you all of his away goals. I do agree that he has been on form recently, but then United, in terms of clean sheets, actually we've been all right of late. So, but anyway, look, it's 7 points in the grand scheme of things. It's not massive for you. I just hope now for the next few weeks we can start to improve again. So you think Liverpool could score 2 at Anfield, Seb, but Raya can get so many saves? Yeah, exactly. The Brighton game. This is what we're talking about, is that the save points equal bonus points, even without clean sheets sometimes. What do I think of Alvarez? I think he's a fantastic punt. If you're only on 2 City, like if I didn't have Ederson in my team and was looking at a potential move, then Jota to Alvarez as a 1 week punt would have 100% been considered. So because of that, just means he's going to get a lot of saves. Yes, absolutely. You might do Jota to Alvarez and then Watkins to Wilson next week. Don't hate that move either. Don't hate that move. You think you agree about Wilson? Nearly brought him in last night. Could be explosive for the run-in. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling that Isak's still adjusting to the Premier League a little bit. Don't get me wrong. That run and that assist, or that what should have been an assist realistically, right? For was it Murphy's goal? That was unbelievable. And I say adjusting to the Premier League, I mean just adjusting from a number 9 perspective and adjusting to Newcastle. He's still done phenomenally well and much better than probably most people would have expected him to. But I think next season, he's a shout, right? At the moment, for the run-in, because the top 4, Eddie Howe's got a good relationship with Wilson from his Bournemouth days and so on. I think he's going to get a lot of minutes, to be honest. Even if he doesn't, I think his explosivity, like you say, for the run-in is very, very good. I missed your comment, Harry. Did I? Let's have a look. Not sure. Comment on this live stream or comment on the video? Evening, Sanoki. Welcome. As mentioned, plan is just to roll. Good stuff, sir. Good stuff. I'll probably be doing the same thing. If Grealish isn't benched, this is likely how I'll line up. If we get news that Grealish is looking like he's going to get benched, I think Jota to Wilson is looking like the most tempting move for me. Maybe Isak if I bottle it. So Harry, yeah, please share. What did you ask me, mate? I can only see the morning. How are you? And I didn't think I missed that. This live stream. Literally on the chat, I can only see morning, Dan. Hope you're well. So sorry, I thought I'd acknowledge that, but yes, I'm very well, thank you, Harry. I hope you're also well, mate. Annoyed that Robertson got rested when Liverpool kept the clean sheet. Indeed. But he is likely to start this game week, absolutely. So it is what it is. Defo Isak could be the new Thierry Henry 8 or 9 mil price tag next season. I don't think he'll be that high, mate. I honestly don't think he'll be that high. I will probably estimate 7 or 7.5 for him. The FPL and the pricing isn't really, in my opinion, it was messed up this season anyway. They're going to do it the same thing next season. Isak will not be 8 million. He might actually, no, he won't be 9 million. He might be as high as 8. But my guess would be 7 to 7.5. But again, like depending on fixtures next season, right? Like he might be an absolute shoe-in for a template, 100%. Like if especially if he stays injury free and if he looks good in pre-season, then he's definitely going to be somebody on people's radars. If Newcastle, the only difference is next season though is if Newcastle do finish in the Champions League once we get to the European spots, that's where it'll be interesting on what Eddie Howe does. Hopefully a bargain. Yeah, I think so. I have no doubt that we will probably see Isak in more teams next season. It's a matter of when, really, I think. And like I say, it's also a tie-in for the Champions League fixtures. Once they kick off towards the sort of that first section of the season, we might see a bit more rotation, which is where he's a bit risky. You don't think Grealish gets benched? You feel like Pep thinks his confidence is so high he doesn't want to break his streak? He might play 60 mins, but maybe he starts. I mean, look, I would hope for that. If he does, then I'm probably going to keep Jota, because then next week I don't mind playing Jota and then selling Watkins for Isak or Wilson. See, that would be absolutely perfect for me. But again, it's just reliance on early team news, really. Is TAA good for the remaining game weeks? Absolutely. I think he's one of the, if not the most attacking defender. I would have had him if I could have afforded him. Instead, I went Chilwell to Shaw, which almost worked out, by the way. I will just say that a lot of people were underestimating Shaw. A lot of people said they didn't think he was going to do much, but yeah, he's that 99th minute penalty really did kill it for me. I lost literally about 8,000 to 9,000 places just on that penalty alone. You asked about any essentials for this game week, did you? I didn't see that comment, Harry. I do apologise, my friend. So, any essentials for this game week? And if I didn't mind looking at your team, you think you're 24th in the mini league? Sure, let's have a look. I mean, in terms of, it's a two-part question. So before we have a look at your team, let's just talk about essentials. Now, when you look at the fixtures, I think, to be honest, essentials have got to be one Man City attacker. One Man City attacker at least, based on team news. Then if we have a look in terms of other teams, maybe 1-2 Liverpool assets, I think, are probably very, very positive this week. Liverpool at home. Brentford do actually concede quite a bit. And Anfield, I think that's definitely one that can be explosive. These are tricky fixtures here. Newcastle, West Ham United. I don't think we can really say anybody's essential out of these, because even Rashford against West Ham, like West Ham are a tricky side at home for United. They always have been. So I'm not positive that we get results there. And so I can't really say that Bruno or Rashford or anyone else is essential this game week for them. Brighton, I do like at least 1 or 2 attackers against Everton. I think they're in free fall still at the moment. They're a little bit of turmoil, even under Sean Dyche. So I would say Brighton assets are positive. You could even take a punt on a Forest attacker. The problem with Forest attackers is that you go for a Forest person now or Forest player now, then you've got Chelsea, Arsenal and Crystal Palace as the last 3. The Chelsea away fixture definitely isn't red. Arsenal's maybe tricky if you can get away with benching them, and then 38. But there isn't really a list of that many essentials this week, to be honest with you, buddy. To be honest. But let's have a look at your team anyway. 24th, Harry M. Poor, CFC, 108 points last week, very strong. Both Elise and Eze getting attacking returns. Look at that. Isak, great, obviously choice here at the moment. Let's have a look at your ID and see how you line up with your cash as well. So I think I actually would play Raya for you ahead of Kepa, believe it or not. Chilwell against Bournemouth, I would probably play him just because you'd hope for some kind of attacking return, although you've got Solanke playing against him. So a little bit tricky. But I think based on what we've just said, because you've only got one City asset in Haaland, 1.8 in the bank, maybe it's up to you here, but maybe you take a punt. And I would maybe do something like this. If both of these two individuals start, then maybe there could be a huge amount of explosivity of points. If you don't choose to do that, you want to keep Solanke. The only thing I can see here, because you haven't really got, I don't think you've got enough money, right? 7.3. How much is Grealish? 7.3. You could easily do Eze to Grealish. I think if he starts, he's going to be a very, very positive pick. Couple of options there for you, Harry, but overall, pretty strong squad, mate. Would I play Raya over Kepa? I would, mate, yes. What sources do I use for early team news? I just look on Twitter and I've just essentially got like a few different people that I trust, right? Most of them are FPL content creators, to be honest. I've got Team News and Ticks on Instagram who always gets things right. So he's definitely the most resourceful, the most reliable. But when you go onto Twitter, 9 times out of 10, people are retweeting what he's already tweeted or posted anyway. Shaw had the clean sheet because he was substituted. De Gea not. Shaw had the clean sheet because he was substituted. He played 90 minutes in both games. I don't know what you mean. Shaw got the clean sheet from the Villa match. He would have had the second clean sheet if he didn't handball it. That's what I meant, but anyway. Thank you once again, Dan. No worries, Harry. I hope it helped, mate. I hope it helped. But a lot of it, again, it goes back to that. I think most people's teams are in positions where we do need that City leak. You don't necessarily need it. It's just more risky to go with someone like Alvarez if you're not confident that he gets the start. Penalty was in minute 99. Yeah, it was in minute 99, but he didn't get substituted. Shaw didn't keep the clean sheet. That would have been amazing. If he got substituted pre-penalty, that would have been fantastic, but that didn't happen. What do you search up on Twitter for early team news? Look, let's if I show you the where is the handle? Let's bang this in the chat. No worries, Patrick. Easy mistake to make. So this is the guy that I trust the most. He usually puts like funny stories on Instagram to reveal the teams, but this is a guy I certainly trust with early team news. You're on Triple City, Stones, Grealish, and Haaland. So I think for you, Seb, you've got to hope at least 2 of them start, right? You've got to hope at least 2 of them start. If they don't, then I guess the situation is, like always, don't leave it to the last minute to make moves, right? So we've got half an hour before the deadline. Before the deadline hits. Try and think about each scenario. So if Grealish is benched, what do you do? Who do you play? Position your team already in your mind on what you're going to do, so you don't panic and take -4s or whatever. Sportcat, hi Dan. Thought I was just going to pop in very quickly. At Costa revising for the exams with your mates. Very good stuff, mate. Hope you're enjoying that coffee. Anyway, just to let you know, you've done Rashford in for Martinelli. Enjoy the day and the rest of the chat. Thank you very much, Sportcat, for tuning in. Good luck with the Rashford pick, my friend. Any team news? Not just yet, Abdullah. I think we normally get it about 15 minutes before the deadline. You can just play Solanke and Trips. So, yeah, exactly. If you've already got that, if you're already in a position where you know who you're going to play, you think you can still easily roll. Yeah, good stuff. That is the point. That is the point. It's just be in a position where you know what you're going to do based on the news and the things we get, the information we get. Sell all Arsenal players for the remaining game weeks. I don't know if I can advise that really, Phoenix. I mean, I really like their fixtures in 37 and 38. Forest and Wolves, man. Brighton's tricky. We all know that. Newcastle's tricky. We all know that. So 35 and 36 are difficult. I'm just going to be looking at 37 and 38. If I can fit anybody in, like let's say, for example, if Grealish becomes a little bit of a risk in 37 for any reason, maybe I go to someone like Odegaard, right? If not, maybe I go someone like Jota to Jesus, for example. But I don't feel like you sell all the Arsenal assets for the remainder. I think you've got to consider them and keep them in your thoughts for sure. Sportcat finally got the transfer in time. Hope you recovered from that howler last week. It's interesting you say that, Armin, because I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he actually did okay. Even though he literally left everything to the last minute, he actually ended up doing better than what he would have if he would have selected his team in time, which is the irony of FPL, boys. The irony in FPL. Maddison or March? I think because March didn't start against United, I'm going to say that you've got to play him against Everton. Got to play him against Everton. I'm just going to have a look at... Because, I mean, Fulham at home are not too bad, right? But I'm just going to have a look. At the defending for Everton on what side. So March plays on the right-hand side. So on the right flank, in terms of chances conceded, Everton concede a lot more actually on the left. So Matoma looks like he's going to have a field day. As for Fulham, centrally, they're about even. Very, very close. I think I'm swung towards Brighton at home. So I think March over Maddison, to be honest, mate. You don't think it looks legit? Who doesn't look legit? What, Team News and Ticks? In terms of a source? Is that who you mean? Because Team News and Ticks is definitely legit. He gets so many things right, mate. Like, look at his previous tweets. He gets Team News almost bang on for most games. You remember when I had Odegaard and he got like 50 points in 4 game weeks, and Almiron who got 8, and he blanked in the next 5. Indeed, mate. But this is the thing, certain picks that I made post-World Cup just worked out. Odegaard was definitely one of them. You know, it definitely catapulted me into a good place overall. I just couldn't keep up with the momentum. It just never happened for me. It just, I hit the sort of 100k, 50k mark or in between, and I just stayed there. It was really stagnant. And I think my experience just, you know, I'm absolutely, by no stretch of the imagination, the best FPL manager at all. Yeah, I enjoy making the content and talking to you guys about it, but there's a lot for me still to learn. And my inexperience in the top 100k is showing now, because I've got 4 game weeks left to be able to try and essentially get my best finish ever. And I've just flopped with a couple of moves. So it is what it is. Lineups were revealed in 20 minutes. Well, that's in time. So if they do get revealed, then look, we've got 10 minutes to react, which I'm not too worried about. Replace Watkins or hold? I think I would hold him this week. I would replace him next week if possible. You believe the site might crash? I mean, it's something to consider, but they've definitely upped their game in terms of the server capacity since that's happened before. Apparently, Millier has been dropped. Interesting. That, to me, though, sounds like that's even more of a reason to captain Haaland if he starts. Like, they're going to have a backup goalkeeper. That's no disrespect to Leeds' backup goalkeeper, by the way. They're still professionals. But ultimately, that's just, for me, Leeds have shipped so many goals. You just can't trust them defensively, not just from a goalkeeping perspective. Patrick, you've still got Kane, Watkins and Haaland. Midfield is a problem if Grealish does not play because you have Milivojevic as a replacement. Interesting. Would you sell Grealish for someone, though? Are you in a position where you sort of feel like you're okay to do that? Can you get to someone like Bruno, for example, if you've got Rashford already? Ready for game week 37? Let's give Twitter a little refresh. Let's see what we've got. Yeah. So Sam C335, he's another individual that I follow. Melier has indeed been dropped by the looks of it. Damn, son. So yeah, 20 past 1. Instagram.com. Team news and ticks, guys. That's who we're waiting for. That's who we're waiting for. Team news and ticks is great. You just hope server doesn't crash. Indeed, you had too many injured players, already a -4 this week. Oh, damn. Well, let's just fingers crossed he starts, Patrick. How we doing, Junior Gaming? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Good to see you back. Hope you got on well last week. I had a shocker again. 117k, boys. Damn. Halved my rank literally in the past 4 weeks. Squeaky bum time. Replacement for either Kepa or Raya. I think I wouldn't mind going De Gea. I think you'd keep Raya just because of the bonus points, right? You're not going to play the Chelsea keeper in game week 37 now, even though it's a double. City and United away. I just don't think I can trust him. So I think you keep Raya. Kepa to De Gea is okay. Kepa to Ederson. I mean, look, I did that last week for a -4. It didn't work out. But I think this week I would actually play Raya ahead of Kepa. Site hasn't crashed in ages. Indeed, they've definitely improved their infrastructure. Pure FPL if it crashes as soon as the City team leak news comes out. Indeed. I mean, I definitely won't be happy if that happens, but what can you do? We'll try our best. Do you remember, for those long-term viewers of the channel, do you remember we had to use the mobile app? And then I did an Ivan Toney to Darwin Nunez -4. And then I was frantically trying to get Darwin into the starting 11, but I kept getting like crashes. And then in the end, Darwin was my third bench option, and he actually got an assist and outscored other players on my team. That was probably one of the most stupid -4s I've ever taken. You had a small red arrow, but we move. Absolutely, Junior Gaming. Absolutely, my friend. We just keep going. Updates on Grealish. Not yet, Sportcat. 20 past 1, mate. 12 minutes. Team news and ticks. He's looking good. Yeah, you remember. Yeah. Rubbish situation that was. Absolutely rubbish. I think that was the only week I got affected by server crashes and server issues, though. I think every other week I was okay because I'd either set my team up before, or I just rolled or something. I can't remember, but can someone type it in here so you can quickly check, please? I will give you the Twitter account, mate. If you go to that Twitter page, Sportcat, just keep refreshing that. 20 past 1. Well, in fact, I say keep refreshing that. He's just tweeted his Instagram link. Follow him on Insta, and you'll see his story will probably get updated at 20 past 1. You hope Haaland's bench so that your rivals will captain Haaland, and you can captain Salah and get ahead. Well, if we get a reveal like that, then I'm definitely swapping the captaincy. Definitely swapping the captaincy. And then if Haaland doesn't start, then Jota definitely goes to someone like Wilson or Isak, and I may even bench Haaland. It's just the damage that he can do, though, to the rank, even if he plays 45 minutes. It could be massive. So, Junior Gaming, yeah, just going through it, I suppose. If Grealish gets benched, I'll do Jota to Wilson or Isak, regardless of who gets benched, I think. That's definitely a move. I would then bench Grealish, play the Newcastle striker into a 3-4-3. If both Grealish and Haaland get benched, then I'm in a bit of a mess, to be honest. That's not ideal for me. I need one of them to be playing at least. And I don't know what I'll do. I'm not going to take a panic -4. I'll just probably play Botman, to be honest. Can City keep a clean sheet? Against Leeds at home, I mean, surely. It'd make me feel good about that Ederson pick, if he did. They've updated the mobile app layout again. It's so clunky and rubbish. Why did they change it? Yeah, I know. They've seemed to, what they're trying to do is they're trying to match the data that's available on the website, and it's just not working. It's never been able to work properly, especially on double game weeks. You always try and sit. So the second game of a double game week never shows you the correct amount of points for that player. And I don't know if they've fixed that now in the app. I didn't check it, but that was always clunky before. They've never been able to sort the app out. 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. 10 minutes for some news. Where are we at on sub count? 1 extra subscriber. Awesome. Thanks, guys. If you are new and you are enjoying the stream, feel free to press that subscribe button. Really supports me, guys. Really supports me. To have nearly 700 subs, though, is just, it's absolutely crazy to me. Why do you guys even watch me? Like I said, I'm not even a very good FPL manager in comparison to other people, but I must be doing something right. So what's other people's plans for City News? What are we doing? What's the headaches? Are you in the same position as me? Have we got... Stones is obviously an issue for some of you, I think. Don't think Ederson's going to be that much of a problem. I really can't see him getting rested twice in a row. What do I think of Chelsea finishing 16th or 17th? For Todd, really, reality check. Mate, he's just playing his own game of Football Manager. He just thought he could come in, basically buy a bunch of... go on a shopping spree and get a bunch of individuals that all of a sudden play well together, right? There's no chemistry. There's nothing at all. And he just thought he could just come in, shot big and do well for him. It's absolutely nuts. It is the reality check. I mean... look, I don't like using the terminology big club, but they are a big club. Like, they just are. You know, you could call them a money club as well, I suppose, but then modern football is like that now. There's lots of teams that are money clubs. So I do think I'd like to see Chelsea stay in the Premier League. I don't want them to go away, but just 16th or 17th, like, that's just woeful based on who they've purchased, right? As a City fan, you think Ortega is very good. So you think Pep could easily play him and bench Ederson? I think Ortega is a fantastic keeper. He's done phenomenally well for you in the cup games. And he's very good with his feet as well. I wouldn't say he's as good as Ederson, but he is very good with his feet, and that's what Pep wants and likes. So you're right. Maybe he does play him, but this is... I don't know. Just twice in a row, though, I'm not sure. We'll see. Always forget to take the like button, to hit the like button. Cheers, Dan. Yeah, indeed. A lot of people do forget, but... listen, it does support the channel if you want to smash it, but only do it if you enjoy the content, guys. I won't ever ask or beg for them. Legend Mark is worse this season. Legend Mark is worse than season. Who's Legend Mark? Seven minutes to the news. Palms are sweaty. Like Christmas. Early team news. This is what it's come to. Right, let's go on to my my Instagram as well and get this in place and ready for that refresh. Why is this so climactic? Climactic. Never been so excited for team news. Indeed. I just think it's pivotal for this week for a lot of people. That's why it's a little bit exciting, right? Talking Chelsea, Anderlecht had company as trainer, a new owner with a lot of money and arrogance send company away. Look at him now. Indeed, no, that okay, that makes more sense now. That makes more sense. Yeah, I think it is stupid. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know why Chelsea really parted ways with Tuchel. I'm going to be honest. I don't really understand how you can win a Champions League and then he just gets binned off. It's never really made sense to me. I just think he was playing pretty progressive football with them. I think you give him a January transfer window, and he probably would have taken Chelsea into the top four again, if not tried to push for European football still, not being stuck in the bottom half of the table. Madness. I've got transfers in place to do Zinchenko and Jota to share, and Wilson just need to hit confirm. Look at this is a man that's prepared. Sebois shaping up with the transfer buttons ready to go. I'm not as prepared as you. I'm hoping it doesn't sting me that I'm not as prepared. But 4 minutes. I guess I could open up a transfer window, couldn't I, here? So what did we say? We said this, didn't we, really? I think I'm probably going to do Wilson out of the two of them. I'm ready. Foden, Alvarez, or Mahrez? Latio. I mean, look, we've got team news. We've got team news in 4 minutes, so I'm not going to say any one of them until we get team news. It might be rubbish team news, by the way. It could be that team news and ticks only gives us one or two players, so we might not even know about Foden, Alvarez, Mahrez. We might not know about Grealish, but let's just wait 4 minutes before we decide on that. Honestly, they should have just kept Potter for the rest of the season. That too, as well. Like that's another point, is that Potter was playing progressive football at Brighton. I know De Zerbi ball was definitely taken over, but Potter laid the foundations there for them to be able to play football the way they were. And you're right about the system changes as well, right? They've just had too many personnel changes, too many systemic changes, and it's just been all over the place for them this season. Definitely going to be an avoid for me, I think, next season. Mr. Blanky just late checking in for the final preps. Indeed, sir. So I've got my transfer lined up. I'm probably going to do Jota to Wilson if Grealish gets benched. If Grealish and Haaland get benched, I'm screwed. If Haaland gets benched, Grealish starts. I will captain Salah. I will probably then do Jota to Wilson. And then maybe I play Wilson ahead of Haaland. I'm not sure, though. I'm not convinced yet. Any team news? Not yet, mate. Couple of minutes. Could all go wrong anyway. Absolutely. As always. Should you start Isak or March? Currently starting Isak. Interesting. I probably would have started March personally against Everton. He didn't get the full 90 minutes against United, so I feel like he's definitely going to play. I can't pronounce that teenager's name from Brighton, but I don't think he's going to start twice. Although he played very well against United, I think, for the most part. I think March will get 60 minutes at least. Maybe even 70, 80 minutes. Hoping for some returns for him this week, though. I need like a double-digit haul from him, to be honest, to recover some rank. 2 minutes till news, guys. 2 minutes. Just hitting that F5 button. The frantic refresh button. I forgot F5 was also a shortcut key on my OBS there, so sorry, that was a bit of a flash of a different scene. An old one, I think. This team news countdown feels like a New Year countdown. Yeah, I should have done something, shouldn't I? Really, I didn't think about it. I could have done a little graphic. I could have definitely taken advantage of that a little bit more, Armin. Joe Davis, if Alvarez is confirmed starting, would I go Watkins to Alvarez? I would love to be able to do that if I could have 4 City players, but I'd have to take a -4, and I don't think it's worth it because I've got Ederson, Grealish, and Haaland. So the Ederson move has blocked Alvarez for me this week. But if I did have 2 City attackers, I would be tempted to do that. More likely, though, for me, in my scenario, I probably would have got rid of Jota for Alvarez and then just played him ahead of someone else. Saw from a reliable source that Haaland will most likely start alongside Alvarez. Very nice. Very nice. I think that actually makes Grealish less appealing because I feel like Alvarez and Haaland seem to share the attacking output when that's the case. Andy at Let's Talk FPL says his source tells him Haaland starts. Wonderful. We love that. Thank you for sharing, Sebois. When City players are in, you need a good bench. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, Jota got injured. Well, he's 75% flagged, so not ideal. Armbad on Haaland? I think so, GV. Yes, mate. I'm pretty locked into that. If he starts, then I can't look past him, mate, to be honest. You just bought Steele for Kepa. I don't think that's a bad move, though. I mean, a lot of people have got Brighton defenders in one way or another, right? They've got Steele or Estepinian or Dunk, so I think that works. Bit of a luxury transfer, maybe, but if that's what you needed to do, then that's what you needed to do. Armin, you think Watkins is a keep this week and a sell next week? Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the other third slot would be better to sell for Alvarez rather than Watkins. I like that West Midlands derby against for Villa against Wolves. He could do something there. Right, let's refresh this Instagram then. Come on, what we got? Nothing yet. This is madness that I'm just resorting to refreshing an Instagram page just to see what I need to do. Madness. Same person who told Andy, yeah, that Ederson was benched midweek, says that Haaland starts. So I think we're pretty positive that Haaland's going to start, but let's check it again in a minute. Haaland and Ederson will start and Grealish is benched. Well, this would be a perfect scenario for me because then I probably will do the Wilson move. So Haaland starts, De Bruyne starts, but I don't see anything about Grealish. Yeah, he's done the old porno sound to try and catch people out in terms of the watching it on their phone, which is quite funny. But he's not mentioned anything about Grealish. Ederson starts, confirmed. Grealish not in the squad at Let's Talk FPL, mate. Oh, the chaos. Grealish taking a breather. Yeah, okay. So Team News and Ticks tweeted. He didn't put it on the Instagram, but he's tweeted it. Okay, we know what we're doing. We had a plan in place. We're going to make the transfers. I think we confirm this. We bench Grealish. Boom. Grealish is benched. Jota to Wilson confirmed. We're in. Grealish benched, boys. Which I expected, to be honest. So then if he is benched and he's not playing, I suppose it doesn't really matter where I put him. We'll just do this for nah, we won't do that actually. We'll keep it there just in case he is in the squad and there's any situation where he might come on, but I thought that was going to be the case. Captain McAllister or Matoma? Reeve, come on, man. You can't be captaining one of these guys. You've got to captain Haaland. Mahrez might be the move. Could be a Mahrez move. It'd be a fun pick over the next few weeks, to be honest. Should you start two and bench Trippier, Shaw, Botman and White? Who should I start two and bench? Start two. I think you start Shaw and White out of those two. See you later, Armin. Thanks for tuning into the stream, my friend. Good luck this week, mate. Time to start in CISO. Do I reckon in CISO starts? I mean, we don't have any legit news, do we, for that fixture? Because it's Monday night. Do I reckon in CISO starts? How many minutes has he been getting? Got 6 minutes to the deadline. We don't need to panic. So he's been playing pretty consistently, I would say. Look, he's got 60, 74, 64 and 90 minutes in the last 4 game weeks. So yeah, I think he starts. I think he starts. Back in the Newcastle boys against Arsenal here. I see. This is the thing. I honestly think Wilson might be a minute's risk as well. I've not really done myself massive justice. in selling Jota, but it's 1 week early. Trippier, you're sure to start. Sure. Gonna have to back the United boys there. Shall you bench Isak? Who for though, Mr. Blanky? Who for? Who for, mate? Five minutes to the deadline, guys. 5 minutes. Nice. I'm glad we got the news early and the site didn't crash, to be honest. That's worked out nice. Sound like Grealish benched, yes. Apparently Mudryk starts for Chelsea. Not that that makes any difference really to a lot of people, but not sure why I'm happy to see Ederson starting at this point. Someone tweeted. That's quite funny. Right, starting lineup for you, Arman, Raya, Moreno, Botman, Trent, Salah, Rashford, Eze, Matoma, Alvarez, Haaland, Captain Watkins. Very strong team, my friend. Patrick, this will be a difficult week for me. I blame your Charles for it. Do you think it could be worth playing? Rico Henry at Anfield could get an assist. Listen, if your squad's in that type of position and you've already taken a -4, Patrick, then go for it. It just depends on. Sorry, Seb. It just depends on who you're swapping out. Blanky, who should I play? 1, Trippier, White, or Botman? Oh, it's so tricky, but I'm going to have to back Trippier because it's the home fixture. They could do some damage against, or he could keep Arsenal out, should I say? You're off, Jedi Stu. Thank you very much for tuning in as always, my friend. Good luck with the week. You're now thinking about doing Mahrez in for Jack Grealish. Listen, he's worth a punt maybe, but Grealish is going to get more games. So I don't know if you feel like Mahrez also plays Champions League as well, don't forget. So he could also be a rotation risk later down the line. I'm just not convinced that you need to do that, especially if it's a -4. Grealish to McAllister, or just play Isak, Seth, I think. Just play Isak. I know, look, Arsenal... What was the news on Gabriel for Arsenal? Is he out? Why is this all dark and rubbish? There's some kind of pop-up, but... Oh, there we go. Accept all cookies. Isn't sure if he'll have either of his first-choice centre-backs available for Sunday's game against Newcastle, with Gabriel struggling for fitness. Gabriel and Saliba both gone. Mate, this is Newcastle attack territory, in my opinion. Don't let the fixture confuse you, boys. I honestly think Isak's a simple start, Seth. Good shout. You stuck to the plan. Good stuff. Good stuff. Honestly, like Grealish will get minutes, and so will Mahrez over these next 4 game weeks. But honestly, at this point, I don't think out for a -4 is worth it. I'm annoyed I couldn't roll because I've gone 1 week early. I would have preferred to have more flexibility for game week 36 than I've got now. But I've actually put my team in a position where I've got a lot of double game weekers coming up. Triple City, double United, triple Newcastle, double Brentford, Villa and Liverpool, and triple Brighton. Like my 15 is like, it's just so, it just looks so boring. There's absolutely no diversity in this team. Right, I think that's deadline, guys, to be honest. I think that's deadline. We'll just open in a new tab so I don't get stuck. It is. That's deadline, boys. Oh my god. I'm glad that we got the news. Because I probably would have just ended up sitting on Grealish, having Jota there as well on it. It's just no, mate. I'm so glad. Yeah, hopefully the stream helped you guys. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about, boys. Right, let's tweet out the team, as always. You want a double Liverpool attack somehow. I mean, you could probably go for maybe someone like Gakpo as a shout, but I'm just, again, it's minutes, right? This is the problem. You brought in Diego Costa and Ayling for a hit. Pretty stressful in the end. Wow, mate. The biggest troll on stream is Jan Aigner, ladies and gentlemen. Ayling for a hit against City. I genuinely do not believe a word of that, my friend. You've gone 4-4-2. Kepa, Trent, Estu, Stone, Share, March, Matoma, Rashford, Salah, Wilson, Haaland, captain. You hope you press save in time. Yeah, me too. I think I did. Yeah, because save your team is greyed out. Oh my god, could you imagine? But then even then, if Grealish isn't in the squad, Wilson would have come off the bench for me anyway. So interesting. You literally got me a little bit panicked there. A little tiny squeaky bum time just came through there. Right, let's bang out the tweet. What did we do? We did Jota to Wilson. Game week 35. I need to get much better at doing this. Maybe I should have a template set up already. Overall rank is 117k. How much money did I have in the bank? 2.4. Boom. Done. Now I can have a look at questions. Team looks strong. Good luck this week. Thanks, mate. I'm pretty convinced that we will see a green arrow between now and the end of the season. But it's been a rough patch, mate. It's been a really rough patch. Tony out and Isak in for you just because Diaz news for you. You're scared he might not start. Isak is a transfer in regardless, just a week early. Exactly the same as me for Wilson. I've gone a week early, but I just think he gets more points than Isak over the next 4 weeks, I think. No Grealish equals Ayling masterclass. Hope some ML rivals thought similar. Jan Aigner, if you've done this, you need to have screenshotted your team and you need to be tweeting me that now. You need to show me that you've made those moves because I do not believe it for 1 second. You're top of the mini league. You have not done Ayling masterclass. You've just not done it. You've just not done it. There's no way. It cannot be true. Damn. See, a few people have gone Grealish to Bruno. Interesting. Interesting. Right, guys, I'm not going to stay on. Just where it's a bit later in the day. Obviously, my family are up and about and stuff like that in comparison to a morning stream. So I am going to wrap it up there. Good luck to everybody this week. Thanks very much for tuning in. Any new subscribers that have stuck around as well, thank you very much for your support. Of course, yes, I will come back again with more than likely just another team selection video next week with a live stream again. We're into the business end of the season now, guys, though. 4 weeks left. Good luck. Jan Aigner, before I go, look, no, of course she played boring and rolled. Sad part is when Ayling actually outscores Edison somehow. That would be very, very sad. But I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that Edison does get a clean sheet that I was hoping for in his double game week, but wasn't to be. But yeah, honestly, guys, thank you very much as always for the support and tuning into the stream. I hope it did help you in one way or another. Luckily, we did get that team news at 1:20, so shout out to Team News and Tix for that support for all of the community. He's absolutely massive for us. Yeah, good luck, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you in a video soon. Take care.